Welcome back to Dark Corner's Physical Media Reviews. One of the last of the pre-code horrors, you can find 1934's Black Moon on YouTube, or you could treat yourself to the significantly upgraded picture and sound quality of the new release from Australian label Via Vision, to really appreciate the cinematography of Joseph August in both black and white and tinted versions. No extras, which is a shame, as this is a film that benefits from some context. Directed by Roy William Neill, who would later direct Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman and a bunch of the Basil Rathbone Sherlock Holmeses, this is the last proper horror film of King Kong's Fay Wray, whose introduction marks this out as a pre-code film.
I'm not going to live in sin, partly because he hasn't asked me to.
Wouldn't be able to say that the next year. Ray is in standard pretty girl in danger mode, with the more interesting female role going to Dorothy Burgess as Nita Lane, a young wife whose tropical upbringing has come back to haunt her.
I'm going home.
Her husband, played by popular Columbia star Jack Holt, agrees to her visiting the tropical island where she was brought up, and where she is anticipated.
Well, you don't mean to tell me that my coming has anything to do with the voodoo drum?
Once there, she is swept up back into that world. To the horror of her uncle.
Have you forgotten the 3 nights sacrificed during the full moon?
Who still remembers how things used to be run around here.
If I ever find him in this house here again, I'll have him whipped!
The film also benefits from the presence of the ever-reliable Clarence Muse in a relatively substantial role. And while it's tamer than a lot of the better-known pre-code horrors, it does still feature some well-realised moments.
The wireless operator.
Of course, there is an elephant in the room. You can make a certain number of excuses for the film's attitudes, predominantly its age, and it does make it clear that events are driven by the brutality of past regimes.
You pressed them. There is much hatred. I must give way.
Personified in Dorothy's uncle, who carries the worst of the dialogue.
We have 5 whites. 2 of them are women and 1 is a helpless child. And around us are 2,000 blacks.
But it is still uncomfortable viewing, grounded in a fear of the unknown or just plain different.
Before that black woman, Ruva, got hold of you and filled you with the sound of the drums and the sight of blood.
And the idea of a nice white girl being corrupted by the natives. And turning on her own people.
I'm gonna set class.
And the native islanders are not portrayed with a great deal of nuance.
Blood worship, sacrifice to the black gods. You call it voodoo.
For all the admissions of historical culpability, it's still very much us versus them.
6 times the blacks have tried to wipe us out.
To be honest, if you can get past this stuff, I still found it to be a pretty average film. I like the use of the drums. The claustrophobia of some of the later scenes is great. And Dorothy Burgess is really good. But it's never as entertaining as Fay Wray's earlier horror films. And a decade later, Val Lewton and Jacques Tourneur would do this sort of thing better in every way in I Walked with a Zombie. I'd stick to that. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you are so inclined. Have you seen Black Moon? And if so, what did you think of it? Please let us know in the comments below.